everyone. How is everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I'm doing great. So we're doing Pull from the Jar this week. For those that don't know, I created this series to inspire me to be creative and to also use a lot of things in my stash that I normally do not use. I have so many things because I've done kits and such and all that. So that is what this is for. And also to let you know, I also am doing an oil painting, but that footage will be in my studio vlogs because it's going to take weeks to get it done because I'm going to let the oil dry in between doing the layers. So footage of that is going to be in on Tuesday's vlog. So with all that said, let's get started. Okay, so let's see what we're doing today. Oh, do 3 create this book pages. All right, let's see what we got. Let me go choose that. So on the first page, it's a create a fabric page. And I didn't want to put, it says attach a piece of fabric or bits of fabrics on the page. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to draw them. So that is what I decided I wanted to do. I am using my Prismacolor colored pencils throughout this whole series that I'm doing today. I decided to do like 3 little swatches of fabric, so to speak. The first one was going to be like a plaid, and then it turned out to be, it ended up looking more like something you would do in a quilt that you would stitch for a quilt. And so I just went ahead and went along with that theme and did the other 2 fabrics to make it look like that it was for a quilt, like you would be doing something for a quilt. I did want the plaid to be like a pink and a maroon color, so I will end up coloring in every other row those 2 colors to make it look like a plaid as best as I could. The lines are not straight, and I was okay with that because I figured it would look more like a piece of fabric if the lines weren't straight, right? Because they're not going to be straight if you're just looking at a piece of fabric because of how fabrics are. I do use a light hand on the maroon color because it's maroon, right? And I knew I was going to blend, and boy did I ever. My wrist was killing me by the end of doing this because again, I did all 3 pages with the color pencils, and you have to blend them. Well, you don't have to, but I wanted to make it look pretty. And so that's what I ended up doing, and my wrist was killing me. Once it got all filled up, I just went every other row and went over the pink with a little bit of the maroon, and then went over the maroon with the pink and blended that together to just give it some dimension to make it look, like it's fabric. And again, I will blend. I almost used this whole blending pencil by the end of this, but it was worth it. And once I get it blended, I will take a gold Posca pen, a very fine tipped one, and go over the lines with that. And then I will use my white gel pen to make like little stitches. At first, I was just going to go down one side of the lines, and then I ended up doing like the whole boxes. And that's what gave me the idea of, oh, this looks cool. This looks kind of like what you would do in a quilt. Like if you wanted to do these little squares and quilt them. So then that inspired me to do the other 2 the same way. The next fabric I'm doing is the top left, and it's in a blue. I went with a light blue, and then I'll go with a dark blue around the corners. Again, knowing I'm going to blend this, I do a very light-handed first, and then I go dark with, or heavy-handed with the dark, and then just blend. And I really liked the way that this looked. It looks so cool, especially in person. It looks a little bit better in person than it does on the camera. With that, I was like, okay, it's like a blue sky, so let me do a little flower here. So I'll use red and green and blend those in. And I will end up using Posca pins to make this like it's embroidered to make stitches. So I'll use blue around the edges, and then I'll use red around the flower and green around the little leaf. The green does get smudged when I move down, but it's okay. I end up fixing it. Again, blend, blend, blend. After I do everything, I do a lot of blending. Again, my wrist was killing me by the end of this, but it was so worth it because it looks so cute. The bottom fabric will end up being a purple with just like little swirls as the pattern, and I do the swirls with a purple acrylic pen and my white gel pen. And you know, it was just something to make it look like it was being embroidered, and I really loved the colors of this when I got it finished blending. I used a light purple and then of course a dark purple around the edges, and after they are blended, woo-wee, oh my gosh, I love it, especially that light purple because it has like a little bit of pink in it as well, and it just looks so good in my opinion. I just absolutely adore it. Adore it. So I really had fun doing these little fabric swatches. You know, it's just fun to sometimes just to let go and just do whatever's in your head, whether it works out or not. So, yeah. So these 3 little fabric swatches are done and they are finished. The next page that I'm going to do is a page full of expressions. So I get to work with making a head, which I have not done in quite a long time. I haven't done any characters in a while, but I was up to the challenge. I wanted to do it. I've been wanting to do stuff like this for a while, actually working on expressions, because I usually never do, right? So I was like, no, let me do that. So I went ahead and drew my faces first, and I did a surprise face, and then I did an angry face, and then of course I'm going to do a happy face, because, you know, we all need to be a little happy every now and again. I will use, again, colored pencils. I kind of goof up on the angry face and do the whole face, and then I blend it, and it kind of blend the eyebrows and the eyes, which I did in black, and it kind of did not end up looking too good. And also the face, the mouth, I mean, it just kind of, you'll see. But I still love the way that these came out. I'm really, really, really happy with it. It was really fun to create these expressions. And when I was doing this girl right here, I'm like, why would she be surprised? And when I was doing her hair is kind of a little wacky looking. And I was like, that's why she's surprised. It's totally not what she expected, right? Either they cut it too short or they use weird colors on her hair, and it made her like, what? I am so surprised with the way that my hair is coming out. But I think she turned out cute, and I'm really happy with how, you know, she ended up turning out. It's always fun to do colored pencils, especially when you start blending, because it just changes the way things look in the end. And I don't know. I just had a lot of fun. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. It's been a while since I've just kind of let go and done things just for fun, just for me, and not to put stuff on my Etsy store and all that kind of stuff, and just go with the flow. And if, you know, it turns out bad, it just turns out bad, whatever. But yeah, this is when I was like, okay, that looks kind of like weird right there. And I'm like, so what if that's why she's surprised, is because her hair quite didn't turn out the way that it wanted. But then let's put little two barrettes in it to try to make it cuter. You will see now where I do everything on the face first. Like with the purple haired girl or pink haired girl, I kind of did her cheeks and all of that separate. But then on this, I ended up doing like her mouth and again her eyebrows and all of that kind of stuff, and it ended up just kind of smearing when I blended it. But again, I'm happy with it. I think it turned out pretty darn cute. This one, she's angry, but I couldn't figure out why is she angry. Maybe she's just angry because she's just an angry person. You know, there's some people out there that no matter what happens, they're just angry. They don't even know why they're angry, but they're just angry. So I should have waited to do like her eyebrows and her eyes and even her mouth until I got her face blended. But yeah, and I put a little red over her nose, like she's really mad, you know, like it's just over her whole face, you know. So see where it smudges? Ugh. But yeah, it's really smudged. But I put a little bit more of the skin color on it to try to make it look okay. And in the end, you know, it's fine. Again, this was for fun. This wasn't something I had to really stress over. Again, it was nice to be able to do that. And she just has regular, just brown hair. Maybe that's why. Because she just has regular brown hair, because the other two are going to have colored hair. And maybe she's mad because she wanted color hair and she couldn't get colored hair and she has to keep her dull brown hair. Maybe that's why she's mad. I don't know. But anyway, lots of blending again. Okay, so the happy girl. This one was really fun to do. I did a face shape on her and everything. And the only thing that I regret doing on her is at the end, it kind of looked a little off. And after doing the editing, I think it was because on the right side of her head, her hair got a little bit bigger than the left side. And I think if I would have just added volume on the left side, she would have looked great. But at the time, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. So I put ears on her, like her hair was behind her ears. And I regret that so much because it just is not it. Okay. These ears are going to look dumb. So I really regret doing that. But when you're in the moment, you kind of don't see it. And again, I didn't really see it until I started editing the video. And I'm like, well, the only thing that was really off was that the right side was just a little bit bigger than the left. I should have just added more to the left. I even gave her teeth, like she's got a really big smile and she's really happy. Again, I really don't do stuff like this when I'm doing characters. So I was really happy to work on this page. See, she's got green hair or aqua hair. I thought that was pretty cool. But as you see, I kind of went a little fat on the right, and I think if I would have just made it fat on the left, it would have just been perfect. Because I love the shape of her face. I think it's just so sweet. I just ruined it by putting these crazy ears on her. I don't know. But anyway, those are my three lovelies. Happy, mad, and surprised. Maybe she's surprised because I put these ears on her. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of fun. I highly recommend you just playing around with expressions if you're inclined to make characters, because it was really fun to explore this. I'm really glad that I did. So there they are, cutie patooties. Now this last is to make a empty setting. So I just thought I'm going to do a simple little landscape, kind of like at the end, my intro video, just very simple, more shapes than anything else with it. I, of course, use greens and browns. I mean, it's just pretty much straightforward. The only thing that I regret doing on this is when I did the sky, by then I was really tired. I had been doing this for hours and my wrist was really really starting to hurt from doing all the blending and such. So I will admit the sky, I kind of was like, oh, let me just get a little bit of the sky onto here and be done with this. I'm tired. And I went around the trees with a dark blue, and in my head it was going to be like just to set it into the page. But again, I was tired, my wrist was hurting, and I just didn't blend it well enough. And so I kind of regret doing that. I wish I would have just left it with the light blue with a little bit of the dark blue up at the top and not go around the trees, because it just didn't blend well. And so, but other than that, I really liked the way that this little landscape came out. I'm really enjoying, because my oil painting that I'm doing is sort of similar to this. Again, it's with whimsical houses, so it's very simplistic, but it's going to have a lot of color to it. So I'm kind of in the groove of doing these simplistic looking landscapes. They're just so much fun to me to do. And the more comfortable I get with it, like to do different designs and put different elements in it, is a lot of fun. So I was glad to do this, and I'm really excited to finish my oil painting as well that I've got going on. Again, if you want to watch that, that's going to be my studio vlogs. It's going to take me quite a while to do it, because I'm letting the oil dry in between stages, because I don't want it to blend, because oils are very easy to blend, more so than any other of your mediums. That's what I like about it, is you can blend them right on the canvas. You don't have to necessarily mix, and it gives a great effect. But on the downside, you can really muddy up your painting if you're not careful. So, but yeah, this was so much fun. I'm glad that this was what the prompt was this week, or this time, for a pull from the jar. I really love doing this series, because I never know what I'm gonna get and what I'm gonna have to do, you know. So I was glad that it was another create this book, because it's been a while since I've done anything in this book. So hopefully next time, though, because I know I do have some things in there for sculpting, maybe even using oil pastels, which I kind of was hoping I was going to get. I don't know. I'm just in the mood for oils lately. I don't know. I just really enjoy working in oils. They're just fun. If you've never done it, I highly recommend it, but you got to be careful, again, because they do blend pretty easily. So yeah, just a lot of blending going on, especially on this page. So that's why my wrist was like, oof. These trees, I wanted them different colors, of course, than everything else. And so I started with blue, and I'll put green over it just to give it like a blue greenish color. The shrubs, once I got finished, I looked at those and I'm like, they need a little bit more of an outline, so I will take that neutral green and just go over them to kind of that green, I think is the green I use, to kind of just set them so they look, you know, so you can tell where they begin or whatever. But again, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Sorry. And oh yeah, I do put a little bit of lightness in it, but just to kind of have highlights and such. I went a little, I think I spent the most on this time on this one. But anyway, there you go. Okay, so here are my pages. I did a create a fabric page by drawing it, like little embroideries, little patterns. I thought that was cute. So that was the first page. The second page was create a page of emotions. I'm really happy with this page. I think I conveyed some emotions here, you know. Think it looks pretty cool. And then the last one is create an empty setting. So it's just a little landscape. Had fun doing this series this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you to get out some supplies, some that you haven't used in a while, and just play. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.